good, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Struggle with Nadeska, Academics, and Wayno. Good morning, my friends. Feeling a little bit better than yesterday.
Feeling better? How could you not be a Monday person?
I hate Mondays, yo. Even
every day is alike.
I don't know. Mondays are the worst. Because you still have to transition from doing all the things you like doing on the weekends to waking up early and working on Monday morning.
Can you really do all the things you like doing though, like on a weekend?
Yeah.
Like, it's quarantine.
I'm building a greenhouse.
It's like lockdown. It's like we're literally on 23-hour lockdown, like maximum security.
No, we're not. Don't make it.
For real.
We're not.
How many hours are you outside of the crib on a daily, on average?
Well,
be honest.
This weekend is going to be really warm. I'm outside all day. I'm hiking. I was hiking all last week and I'm biking. It was cool.
Oh my God. You live in the city. You're not going nowhere. The fuck is you hiking?
We're not on a 23-hour lockdown. We're still able to go outside and walk around if we like. We're able to do regular functional things, so let's not
Ak only looks outside the windows to see the landscapers.
You should be comfortable. You don't go outside anyway. So.
No. First of all, this has made me realize I do go out more than people think I go. Secondly, I just want to, I empathize with people who are going through some mental issues because this is lockdown, bro. Yeah. This is lockdown. And again, I get it. You could just walk outside, but this is social. It's a social lockdown.
It's social lockdown.
Definitely. Thank you, academics. All right, well, 6ix9ine is definitely thriving during our social lockdown. Obviously, we spent the whole episode yesterday talking about him, and his big defense on Friday when he did his IG live was basically, what would you all do if you were in my shoes? And so he's continued with this narrative, even asking his fans directly if they would snitch or go to jail. So we have a question from one of our viewers who's a little bit confused about all of this. He says, there's much talk about rap fans and other rappers not supporting 6ix9ine due to him snitching, but we still hold artists like Tupac and Chris Brown, convicted of assault issues in high record and oftentimes as GOATs. What is the difference?
Well, first and foremost, Tupac and Chris Brown are very talented artists, so that whole GOAT thing applies to their talent, not their antics. The whole thing with 6ix9ine asking people, I really believe in his heart that it bothers him. As much as he tries to pretend like he's confident and he says how much money he has and all that other shit, he still has to live with that. And I don't think that you need any clarification or validation from no fans or nobody else. It's like, it doesn't matter what anybody else would have done in that situation. It's not nobody's situation to debate that. The fact of the matter is he made a decision. I think he just got to get comfortable with the decision. I don't think that he's comfortable with it. So it's like he's going to hide it with all the diamonds. He's going to hide it with all the money and all the pictures. He's going to hide it with all the antics. And he has no choice but to embrace what he did. So, he just got to live with his decision. You don't need nobody else to tell you what they would do to make you feel better about yourself.
In regards to the question and, bringing up, Chris Brown and Tupac and, certain things they were accused of or maybe even, convicted of doing, I think it's a little bit different. You have to understand that those situations and people, and again, whether it's fair or not, we are in the court of public opinion. We're still in court, okay? Right. We might not be in actual court where we're seeing them testify, but we're in court and people are judging. And I think that, Chris Brown went through the whole gamut, and people looked at him like, yo, we don't fuck with you or whatever. And, he had times where, he could have probably tried to do what 6ix9ine is doing in terms of saying, hey, you know what? Let me try to normalize and humanize you guys to my situation, and let me put you in my shoes. Well, we never saw this, though. He never came out and like, what would y'all do if you're driving your car to the award show and Rihanna's, he never did that, right? Mm-hmm. He actually owned up to whatever he did, and he took all the backlash, and, he admitted fault. Tupac's a different situation. I won't even get into that. I agree with Wayno with one thing. I do think 6ix9ine does care a bit, and I think this is his way to kind of oversaturate to change the conversation. The mere fact that every time, he is doing good music-wise, right? Again, whether you want to believe it is just because people are looking at the antics and that just happens to be a byproduct. He's doing good music-wise right now. And people keep mentioning rat, snitch. You know what I mean? I do think that bothers them. I think it would bother any human who, you grew up even on the outskirts of the quote-unquote hood, you know what that means. A snitch, a rat, these are people that are just not people you want to associate with, not people who are, just integrity or moral wise, like dope. And I think it bothers him somewhat. Can he switch the conversation? Could he change the narrative? Could he also change what it means to be a snitch? I think that remains to be seen. When he came in the game with a lot of people talking about sexual allegations with him and a child. Somehow, by the time he got locked up, people were only talking about him beefing with people and him being one of the biggest artists. So he has done it before. I don't know if it will happen again. But I guess, as I said, covering him, talking about him, we're all signed up on this roller coaster.
Wow.
Yeah.
When he poses that question, he definitely leaves out the beginning of the equation, where he got involved in a life he shouldn't have been involved in the first place. It's not like it just happened to him by accident.
And that's just it, and that's just it. It's like, what would you do? I mean, if what we expected you to do is like you were portraying to be the street dude that was doing all these things, you got to do shit back. Like you got to fight back however you can. But that was his only means of fighting back, And the thing about it is, everybody talks about keep the same energy. It's just that simple. Now, of course, we all know that that's not what he was built for, but people keep saying, what would you do? That's what a person who was really living that type of lifestyle would have done. But it is what it is for real.
And also, I'll say this, right? There's two different crowds. There's big two. I've always called that Meek Millish crowd like the vocal minority. They have the less numbers. If they did have the majority of numbers, I don't think he would be even a thing now. But I think hip hop is flipped in terms of the masses versus the people who are quote unquote real and even have platforms. So I look at it and I say, him asking that question, he's asking it to the people that already understand. You get me? That's why you had 80% of people agree with him and say there was.
Oh, you checked the poll results? I didn't see them. Okay.
Yeah, no. So 80%, like he asked it on his story. 80% of his, or I would say most of his audience, his fans, that are like suburban kids, they understand. They've heard the narrative. Fuck your baby mama. Kidnapped you, robbed you, was about to kill your mom and kill you. They get it. I think here's the thing, for that vocal minority, which as I am agreeing with Wayno, I think bothers him a little bit. Because he's seeing people who maybe he's either respected in the past, even worked with in the past, or even other people who have been neutral about him, just speak out even about snitching, and he's trying to like have that conversation. I agree with you, Nadeska. You can't have that conversation by just framing the question like that. You have to fully flush it out by saying, okay, where's the I made the choice to join? You feel me? And I don't know if he's ready to have that conversation, or again, he's a magician. The power of being a magician is using
illusions.
Showing people, it's illusions. You show people what you want to see and you disguise what you don't want them to see. That's how he uses the media in a way by posting and stuff like that.
But guess what?
He's ready to have that conversation.
Ain't no street niggas leaking his address. It's the suburban kids. So how much do they really love him? You know what I mean? The suburban kids keep telling everybody where he live at. So
they think it's
how
all
much
a
do they really? Yeah, how much do they really love him?
His fans. You know what I mean? Like fans are openly fanatic. The same people who are leaking his address, who are camping out for like a sight of him, they would probably also be in tears and hold vigils and candle, do all the most if he did get, like killed. So it's one of those things where like the same people you're appealing to, you could tell they don't get it.
Hey, any 16-year-old kids watching the show today, just be accountable for the decisions you make in your life. That's all I have to say to you guys.
Just remember, a man's got to have a code. A woman too. So with 6ix9ine home now, this conversation, unfortunately, about this King of New York drama is popping up again. And we saw a little TJ talking about this last week. He has a new project out. So over the weekend, he got on Instagram to explain why he thinks New York artists don't help out other upcoming artists in the city. Take a look.
Y'all all could say what y'all want to, but if you really think about it, why you think Nicki and Cardi beefing right now? It's New York shit, bro. Shit is bugged out. Why you think Nicki never gave A Boogie a feature? Besides that, why you think Cardi never gave A Boogie a feature? Why you think me and Boogie never got in a song? Mind you, I don't want to do a song with him. I'm just saying. You feel what I'm saying? This whole unified New York shit started with me. Understand that, you all. Look, I just dropped the tape with the whole city on it. French, that's my big bro, right? He ain't even posted shit.
So basically, TJ is saying it's just New York shit, like a New York mentality. That's why Cardi and Nicki are beefing. That's why we haven't seen a like a Nicki and A Boogie collaboration. What are your thoughts on this?
I'll agree. I agree with him wholeheartedly.
That it's just a New
I ain't
York
saying nothing wrong.
mentality.
You know, I hate when people act like New York is unlike any. No, this happens probably everywhere, but like, it's more of a. It's happening in New York, but I look at it. It's more of a big artist, little artist thing. Nobody wants to help the next dude that's coming up unless they already have a wave that you could profit from. Like he made some great examples. I mean, you could call the Brooklyn drill wave. I still think that's a niche type music. You know, Pop Smoke was making it out to like being a mainstream star, but like, you know, all respect to 504, and he's a niche type artist to me at this point. Still, you get me? You see, Lil TJ. He drops the State of New York, right?
State of emergency.
He basically, or State of Emergency. I'm sorry, but it had the hit single Zoo York on it. He features he features primarily smaller artists than himself on the record, on the whole tape. J.I. the Prince, smaller artist than TJ, that's a fact. 504, you know, Pop Smoke, rest in peace, so we're not going to even discuss that. You know, Pop Smoke is a different thing. Who else did he feature? He featured Jay Critch. He featured pretty much a lot of people from the city that we don't see many artists like really reach down and actually give that collab. Let's be very honest. He's right. Why haven't we gotten the Nicki Minaj and A Boogie collab? Nicki's collab with everybody in the motherfucking world, but we haven't seen that. When did Nicki choose to collab with a new hot New York artist? When he was at his fucking peak in terms of single-wise and buzz-wise. That's how we got Fifi, and he collabed with 6ix9ine. Let's be very honest.
Okay.
Some of these collabs that he's talking about, I see it happening, and again, I don't think it's only a New York issue, it's a big artist, little artist issue, but we see it happening more in like Atlanta, where someone who's on and has a brand, they'll go fuck with the new guy who kind of got like a little upcoming wave in a city that might not be national. I think TJ's right with that. He could be thinking about his own mortality and say, yo, I'm not about to collab with y'all niggas. Yo, y'all niggas is smaller. Yo, J.I., you kind of sing too. Why the fuck would I do a record with you and put eyeballs on you that you never had before or you didn't work for on your own? So I agree with him there.
I don't know. Only reason why I don't know is because I know I'm from New York, born and raised, and New York is segregated due to geographics. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people don't fuck with people based on where they from. That's first and foremost before you hear a word come out of anybody's mouth. Like, a lot of people in Brooklyn for years didn't fuck with Harlem. Or Queens and Brooklyn, they kind of close, but a lot of them don't fuck with each other. The thing is it's really a relationship thing for the most part. And I think that, like, because a lot of the artists that's coming up, by the time they come up by themselves, they don't want to work with a lot of people. Because the thing about New York is everybody here feels like there's somebody, but everybody here feels like an underdog. So by the time they reach a certain peak, they don't really want to work with other artists. Now, I think that Lil TJ, I think he's doing that to kind of prove a point, right? He's doing it with the other artists like that could be considered his peers to prove a point. But there's other artists that's in New York that he didn't put on records. I mean, it was only 7 songs, so you can't throw everybody on everything. But there's artists that he didn't put on records.
To his credit, though, like, of course, not this.
Yeah, I'm not taking that from him.
Emergency tape. I've seen him collab with a lot of people. Trust me, he's one of those people I've been looking at, and I'm like, yo, I remember, like, you know, and salute to Fetty Wap. Like, I remember Fetty Wap was, like, popping, and Fetty Wap was still collaborating with a lot of lower artists in Jersey. Some people thought that hurt his career, but I looked at it, I was like, he's trying to help him put on. I've seen TJ, like, collab with certain dudes, and I'm like, yo, TJ, like, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. This is about the time you run to LA and you go grab a feature with the next hot guy from whatever region that goes there. He's been really working with a lot of locals.
So you think he's sorry, and whatever you could continue after this. He said the whole Unite New York movement really started with him. You feel like he's at the forefront, like he's the artist in the city who's trying most to build those bridges?
Absolutely not, because tons of artists in New York work together. They just don't make hit records. That's the thing. It's a lot of artists that work together. You could go down the past 10 years. There's tons of people that have done songs, tapes together, all of that shit. A lot of people here just haven't been making hit records. That's the only difference I see with here in Atlanta. In Atlanta, they have more of the sound. You know what I mean? Like they have more of the sound that's helping them create the records. Now, there's not a lot of producers that's even bridging those gaps here in New York. Like Ax said, the fucking, what is that? The Brooklyn drill movement is cool, but if we look at who really made a lot of the records that's booming over here when Pop is alive, it's a nigga that's not even from America. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of the producers don't embrace the artists. New York is just and like I said, it's very segregated based on oh, we doing our own thing, them niggas doing their own thing, we gonna see who gets there first. But TJ didn't start artists working together. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree with you, but I'm gonna disagree because I think of what he meant. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he didn't start it. Like, this is what happens in New York. You have the pool of artists who are kind of all in the mix, and unless they're like doing some Brooklyn Joe shit, which they're dissing like the other dudes, right? They usually have no problem with each other, and you usually see like collabs, right? So he didn't start the working with like another artist in New York, but I do think he's showing very different than a Boogie, than a Nicki, than a Cardi B. Of, hey, when you get to a certain level, and we could all sit here and acknowledge, Lil TJ is he's a nationally recognized artist, as opposed to a lot of artists in New York. Once artists get out of that bubble, they stop. You know, like you can't.
No, you're right about that. You definitely right about that.
And he is in the position to. Okay, cool. I'm glad we worked together when nobody knew me and nobody knew you. But I'm out of that bubble. Peace out, niggas. He actually hasn't done that, and you have to give that credit.
Absolutely. I think he's saying it for his for his age age group of artists in New York is what he really means. Because
I mean, but all around, like we really can't like. I love Cardi B, but who is Cardi B like collab with like in New York other than Pardison Fontaine? Like who is she like collab with once she's gotten to be the superstar? Like who?
Yeah, but you gotta also keep in mind that business tie. A lot of people tie their business into how they do music, you know you can't just Cardi B. You can't just be throwing Cardi B features around. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just be throwing them shits around. Like same with Nicki. Like I think like even with Nicki, like it would be dope to have seen Nicki embrace like I wish Nicki and Cardi would have worked together when Cardi was on her way up. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, a lot of you can't be throwing them features around like that. You can't, and that's the business of it, you know.
And maybe it's because of business. But I think that was precisely his point. He's like, the reason why I mentioned Cardi and Nicki is because he's like, yo, Cardi is gonna like there is gonna be some tension there where, hey, you're the top chick that's in the city, and you basically don't acknowledge me. This and third, I had to get it on my own, and now when I'm on, it kind of creates that tension. Same with Boogie. He's like, yo, y'all never helped me, so like when I'm on now, like don't expect that we're gonna be all buddy and friends, or I'm gonna want a record. And I think he was just explaining to people why, like, because you know fans are looking at it like, yo, wait, why does Lil TJ and Boogie have a problem? You know what I mean? And he's saying, hey, there's a pattern, there's a lineage. It's the reason why Nicki and Cardi first probably didn't see eye to eye. It's the reason why me and Boogie is like that. But also I'm trying to change it. And I think he's trying to help.
And the last, I was just say, like, I think that Boogie would work with more artists, but a lot of artists just ain't ready to work. That's another thing. A lot of these younger artists, they don't be ready for that neither. You know what I mean? And that goes down to their team as well. It's like, you know, if you get a record, if you get a record with an artist that's larger than you got to be prepared to handle everything that comes with it as far as like where you're gonna take your career. And a lot of people might not want to align with another artist that they might see them move in a certain way, like I get this kid a feature, or like they moving kind of crazy out here. I don't want to associate myself with that. So I think it's a lot of factors, but when you broke it down to the whole, you know, him doing it for his age group and how he's coming up, and yeah, he is an international artist at this point. He does have a point. I can't knock that.
Okay, so I mean, hopefully we see more of this unity in New York as time progresses. We're definitely seeing it with a lot of female artists right now, which is really dope. So right now, Doja Cat has a #1 record. It's called Say So, that's featuring Nicki Minaj. So she got on Instagram Live just to celebrate the milestone and speak about how she feel like things have changed with females in the industry over the past few years. Take a look.
It's great. I'm so happy that the women of rap and the, you know, of pop have been able to come together, especially in an unexpected and fucking chaotic time that it is right now. We've shown that we can learn how to fucking thrive with each other. I've been around for a while, but I'm saying obviously women have been pitted against each other, and this is fucking so not that. We've climbed over that, and that's cool.
So Doja Cat is basically saying that she feels like female rappers were always pinned up against each other back in the days, but right now she feels like things are finally changing and we could see more and more female artists collabing. Of course, we just saw Megan Thee Stallion and Beyonce together. Beyonce not really a rapper, but for her and Nicki to have a number one record is definitely really dope. What do you guys think? Do you see the positive change happening here?
Absolutely. You know, I'm very proud of all four of these ladies, Beyonce, Meg, Doja Cat, and definitely even Nicki Minaj. I think we wouldn't have seen this if this was about 10 years ago. You know, I think, you know, when it comes to female rappers, just females doing music, especially within hip hop, it's very secular because, you know, like people treat it kind of like real estate. And yo, if you're co-signing somebody else, they might take some of your real estate later down the line. I mean, Beyonce ain't got nothing to gain from this. Like, yo, how many number ones Beyonce got? Like, who cares, right? You know, she just kind of loved the record organically, showed love. You know, Nicki Minaj showed love to Doja Cat. And a lot of people look at Nicki and be like, yo, you don't show love to a lot of new artists. This time she did, and especially to a female artist. So, again, I think for the veteran artists, they looked at it like, yo, hey, this is a dope moment for us being OGs to help out. And I think for the newer artists, like, it's dope that in what we're considering the competition, Doja versus Meg, it's kind of like, yo, hey, this is a feel-good moment overall. So I'm super proud of them for this. Here's my only thing, though. You know, I got to...
here. Wait, no, I was just about to say, aren't you so happy that Ak is proud of the woman today? Go ahead.
All I'm saying
I got something that he ain't say. I'm waiting to see if he says it. Go ahead.
It ain't two rappers, though, okay? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like Doja, like, I don't know what we kind of consider her, but, like, she wouldn't be like a Meg, like...
she's a quirky rapper. She's still rapping, though. Nah? No?
It'd be a little bit different. I think it'd be a little bit different if it was two, like, rappers who be just rapping about being number one, even though that's not really Meg's type of thing. But, like, you know, I think, like, this is egoless music. You know, like, if it was two other female rappers, I don't know if we'd be all like, yo, let's hold hands and let's, like cheer for the top.
I'm so surprised that academics didn't take it to some Rock Nation conspiracy because Megan signed to Rock Nation. And the Megan signed to Rock Nation for management, and Beyonce's husband runs Rock Nation, right? I thought Ak was gonna go there with it, but nah. But
ain't overall, no conspiracy theory. They lost. They lost.
Nah, but it's definitely a dope moment. I mean, like I grew up in an era where women did collaborate. Like, you know, you seen like down to Angie Martinez and Ladies Night, and you know what I mean, and Lauryn Hill and how she was so embraced by all other ladies. MC Lyte, you know, Queen Latifah, they all embraced each other. So, you know, I feel like over like in the mid 2000s, it got pretty weird, you know, and then like Ak said, like 2010 on up until like I say the last like 4 or 5 years, it was pretty weird. But it's dope to see everybody just making music with no ego, and I think that's what helps like the ecosystem of music so much more. Is like when I'm not really worried about, you know, if you got the number one or I got the number one shit. If we both in a conversation, that's all that really matters. So it's dope to see them, you know, all going for it. Cause it's a chance that. Well, isn't 6ix9ine running up for like the number one record now?
Yeah, he's in the running for next week.
For next week, right? But I was about to say like, cause I thought it was like pretty close where Meg could have still probably got it for at least a week or something. But you know,
I'm pretty sure she's gonna be in the conversation too. And again, like what we noticed, and you know me, I like talking my shit, but I give credit too, whether people admit it or not. Right. The Barbs did their thing because it was actually projected about like Tuesday that. Of last week that it was gonna finish with Meg be number one, and the Barbs was like, oh hell nah. Apparently, I didn't even know this, that Nicki never had a number one record, and they ran it up with the sales and all these bundles and whatever else, and you know you got to salute to the Barbs. My only thing is that it's got to do it for like Yikes, okay? For her solo
but hey, remember, listen, Doja Cat trolled too. She trolled heavy. She said she was gonna show boobs. She said she was gonna do that, so the cats might have ran it up too. Like we need this in our life, so
that was finessing.
That was finessing. that was grade A finessing.
Ak, do you feel safer?
It's dope to see them doing anything.
Do I feel safer about what?
From the Barbs now that we're on lockdown?
No, I mean the Barbs don't really do anything. Like if you, the Barbs. What the Barb's gonna do?
Hey man, like, listen, Big Zoo still got some words for you, so you know what I mean? Keep that in mind.
Did Big Zoo register? That's all I want to know. Did he register?
No. Okay, let's not do it. We're just having a nice conversation. That was my fault. Exactly, I apologize for
this
it.
Man. This dude.
So yo, Jill.
You don't got social media. You're not gonna see this.
Yeah, Jill Scott and Erykah Badu, obviously not rappers either, but just speaking of this sort of unity in music, it was really, really dope to watch them in their Verzuz battle, just basically be good friends and share stories. And I think we like seeing that kind of camaraderie with artists. So Verzuz does continue this weekend. This time it's Nelly versus Luda. You guys looking forward to this one?
Absolutely. I got Luda. Much love and respect to Nelly, though. You know what I mean? Like, I got a lot of flack for my Nelly comments on the show. I even got I got a lot of flack.
Hate, man.
But but you know what? It was just like a lot of shit. Certain things I said was in the heat of the moment, but I actually talked to Ali from St. Lunatics. Like, we had a real good conversation. But, for real, but we had much respect to Nelly, though. You know what I mean? Can't take like what he's done as a pioneer, you know, for melody and just what how he put on for the Midwest. But I'm looking forward to see how this goes. I got Luda in this one.
Yeah, I think I saw Luda do what was that, at South by Southwest, if I'm not tripping, a few years ago. Shit is crazy. You like forget how many hits he has until he gets on stage. That was the first and only time I ever saw him. It was amazing.
Right.
Yeah, we definitely forget that pretty much the baby's Luda 2.0 or Luda Jr. I got Nelly, though. You know, I really think that, you know, Nelly, and I'm agreeing with them. I'm going back to this conversation because he is from where he is, that like his heavyweight status is kind of like, we kind of put him to like, you know, Super Junior middle featherweight type of division. When really, I think he should be going at it with either 50 or Ja Rule. I'm not saying that's like the perfect comparison, but like, I feel like his career was of that echelon. Now, him going against Luda, of course, like Luda's no slouch either.
Changed the South, man. Luda changed Atlanta, bro.
Yeah, we do get caught up with, you know, seeing Luda on, you know, every Fast and Furious. So, you know, like, we think about him in cars and think about him doing other things outside of music. But, you know, I think that's a formidable opponent. I think it brings back definitely a time period where both of them were given, you know, they had a huge impact and contributions to music. But I just believe that Nelly got some joints that Luda got some too. Not gonna lie, but Nelly got some joints. I think he's gonna come out victorious, but I could be wrong.
No. Stay with your prediction. Don't back down.
Yeah, stay with your prediction.
No. Here's the thing, and this is why I love this Verzuz shit, right? This shows us like the showmanship of it all, right? Because I believe, like, depending on how Nelly plays it and Luda plays it, for the first 5 songs, it's gonna dictate everything. Again, you know, this is all fun, this is all jokes, so it's not like some like, yo, we're winning money if we win this. It's really about like bragging rights a little bit and just
And
like,
appreciation.
You're right. You know, but shit, salute to Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. Like their records, like they had 6 albums combined, like just topping all the charts after that. So, you know, originally shout out to Timbaland and Swiss Beats because they started this Verzuz thing, but it's having an impact for artists. I just think that Nelly could really do some shit. You gotta do it after niggas disrespected. After niggas like Wayno trying to play.
Wayno.
I apologize, man. I
Wayno,
apologize,
a shoes
Nelly.
enthusiast, a sneaker guy.
Nelly. I apologize, Nelly. Okay. But you know what's really dope about all of this though, the streaming. This is why I love streaming so much, because like before, if we'd have something going on like this, I don't think people would be running out to the stores to buy CDs. But with streaming, like you could just pull up your laptop, pull up your phone, and just go back and just be playing your shit in the house. And like I said, like now we putting them back in the charts by doing this. So this is really super dope.
Yeah, hip hop is not having such a bad quarantine. We found ways to adapt. So
right.
Let's see whose prediction was right on Monday. This is gonna be a good one.
Hey, listen, I do have another prediction.
Of course you do.
Erykah Badu and Jill Scott, they pulled 730,000 at its peak, I think, live. Which, by the way, these numbers keep getting bigger and bigger. Which you know, it's kind of like a brand. People are more figuring about it. And these artists, I think this pulls near 1 million. I think this.
I think it does 1 million. I think it does 1 million.
And by the way, like I posted on my Instagram page today. Possibly Snoop. I know 50 said he would like go at it with Snoop or whatever, but like Snoop said like Jay. I don't know if Jay will ever do that, but I think that's definitely a 1.5er in terms.
Oh, easy.
If Jay did it, you think 1.5? You didn't think would he hit 2 million?
I think you could get. I think it could
actually
get to 2 million.
Snoop and Jay.
It could get to 2 million, bro.
It.
They could do 2 million.
Yeah, Snoop and Jay.
But I ain't gonna front though. Like that Jay versus Snoop, that would be great because Snoop is internationally a bigger artist than Jay. You know what I mean? Like he's more recognizable nationally, and I feel like he definitely has same amount or just more hits than Jay.
Oh, and that's one of those I think will go down like a URL battle where like niggas argue, nah, nigga, he 3-0'd him. No, bro, it was nah. You get me? Because I think depending on the demographic, Jay got some joints that I think work well for urban crowds in America, but then you got some Snoop Dogg shit that, to keep it real, you're in Brazil, you don't know what the fuck they're saying, but you hear the record, you're like, oh shit, this the joint. So again, you know, it might be.
Look at Act talking like he ever left the country to go anywhere besides Jamaica. And maybe DR one time. You've seen that on the internet.
I'm well traveled. I just want to travel.
Yeah, okay.
And plus, I'm the person that's always argues. Like, I'm the guy who has the argument that says Pele was a bigger like athlete globally than Michael Jordan in the U.S. And everybody gets mad because we're in the U.S. So like we're always landlocked and like mind locked to like.
Nah, soccer is a mega sport worldwide. When you count the numbers, soccer's crazy.
The Jordan brand sign alone is a sign that you can find anywhere on the planet. I don't know if Pele has a sign that is recognizable everywhere.
Well, he never went brand wise. He went on some human philanthropy type of thing afterwards his career. But I will say this: look at LeBron James, who we all think is king, and look at Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh yeah, Ronaldo's
200 million Instagram followers. I think LeBron has like 60. You feel me? just putting shit into comparison, okay? Like it's a different league. Like most of the world seems to speak Spanish.
Yo, question. I know Americans don't love soccer as much as Europeans or South Americans do, for example, but it seems like they're coming back sooner than the American sports. Would you guys actually watch soccer because you're missing sports enough? Or not?
Well, you got me watching soccer after I wore that Germany jersey. Remember
Yo,
that?
Bundesliga is coming back soon. I think they'll be back before the American teams. If I'm correct.
I watched it a few times after, like, you know, I started wearing the jerseys and shit. You know what I mean, to show support. But I definitely like I'm not well versed enough to know who's who. But I watched it a few times after that.
UFC's back. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of sports are gonna start coming back. Probably overseas more before here. Mm-hmm. I don't even have cable, so I'll be watching shit on Netflix. But from what I hear from everybody, ESPN is dry as shit. They were broadcasting video games, calling it sports. They were broadcasting Madden and saying that's football.
All right, so
people need sports back.
We could watch some German football together. Wino's already on board. We gotta go. Mm-hmm. Roger says we're way over time. Thank you guys for watching Everyday Struggle. We'll be back here tomorrow.